Record live. Boom. All right, so yeah, Mr. Potato Head is gender neutral now. It's like the latest, hottest thing, and Cat in the Hat is canceled. So, are we done here? Like, are we done just canceling things?
Cancel culture.
Are you happy with where we're at, or are you just gonna keep going? Because we can go with this till the end of time and just cancel out everything for no reason, for no fucking reason. Okay, so Mr. Potato Head is I think is gender neutral now. It's what they call it, GN for short. And Cat in the Hat, for whatever fucked up reason, is canceled now. Matt, did you find any articles about why they're canceling Cat in the Hat or like Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, it's more so Dr. Seuss. Hold on. It's more so Dr. Seuss, and it's because there's a few racial, I guess, implications or something in some of the old books. And there's 6 here that are being canceled. And the books are, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. Now, I only know the first one.
Is it me, or do I know none of those books?
I don't know any. I know the first one. I've heard of that one. I don't remember exactly what it's about.
Okay, I wonder if we could do some digging and find the quote-unquote racial insensitive terms.
Possibly, yeah. The Hollywood Reporter says 6 Dr. Seuss books to no longer be published due to racist, insensitive imagery. So yeah, here, we'll Google the first book.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
See, because online, all I kept seeing was like Cat in the Hat. I thought all his shit was being canceled. I'm like, what?
Nah, not all of it.
So that's probably like the clickbait shit.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
What did you see? So here's the plot of What Do You See on Mulberry Street? It says plot, and see what you can see. However, the only thing Marco has seen on his walk is a horse pulling a wagon on Mulberry Street. He imagines the horse is first a zebra, then a reindeer, then an elephant, and finally an elephant helped by 2 giraffes. I don't know what
that.
Yeah,
that's the racism.
That was just the plot. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was like that. Okay. All right. Well.
But yeah, it's you probably got to read the books for themselves to really dive in.
Yeah, look it up for yourselves, because I don't really feel like going through every book. But this is where we're at right now. We don't like something, or we perceive it the wrong way, and instead of just ignoring it and just not liking it, we cancel it. We just cancel it. We're going to cancel fish tanks and,
It's definitely interesting.
everything.
Oh, here's actually the reason why. Basically, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, there's imagery of a white man using a whip on a man of color. So, yeah, I mean, I could see
it
where it's bad, but canceling, like,
maybe they didn't intend on it being that way, but maybe that's just how they. I don't know. I'm not if it was whoever illustrated it, if they did have some racist intent on it, then obviously, it's no good, and I'm not condoning that. But back then, it was like acceptable to draw those sort of things. Like if you see like old cartoons and like the way they portray like black people, like and this isn't me saying this, is just what these pictures were, like black, like big lips or big ears, like that's just, they just got away with it, where like today you would be crucified for publishing a picture like that. So yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. But that, I mean, just because, like I said, something offends you, you're an adult. Like, I don't know. Like, it just baffles me, like, to cancel it. cancel it.
It's interesting because, I mean, we read that book in high school, Fahrenheit 451, about book burning and whatnot.
It's happening.
And it's kind of like that, yeah. Which it is, if it is bad, it's bad. But yeah, like you said, just don't read it then.
Wow. Okay. And then Mr. Potato Head is now what? I wonder what they're going to call it now.
They're taking away the Mr. from its brand name and packaging.
So just Potato Head.
Yes.
Potato Head. And that just sounds dumb now. At least the Mr. you had that brand. That just sounds dumb. It sounds like an insult, you know?
Right.
Potato Head. What are you doing there, Potato Head? Sounds like an insult from the 1940s. Now, like like back then, the insults were like really dumb. Get over here, potato salad face. Okay.
Salad face. Dude, I just saw a video the other day of a snowball fight colorized from like 1870 or something, 1890.
What is it?
It's a video of a snowball fight from like 1890.
Really?
And it's colorized. Yeah, here, I'll
pull it up.
I'll bring it up here.
We're not doing for those of you listening, we're not doing video for this episode. You know, those couple episodes we put out with the video, that was just testing out the waters. Eventually, it'll all be here. Pause that for a second. Eventually, it'll all be, you know, video and you know, more centralized towards that. But we're just testing it out. So probably for the next, you know, probably for a little more while, we'll just do you know, audio. So now we can't get in trouble, hopefully, because just me and Matt watching this. But what we're watching is, and this is totally random from what we were just talking about, this is a snowball fight from, what year is that, Matt?
1896.
1896 in France. In 1896, snowball fight colorized. So
definitely interesting.
That's from 1896?
Yeah.
It looks why does it look high def?
Because these people restored it.
Oh.
And in fact, I think this is actually in color now. Yeah, they put it in color. This guy on the bike got destroyed.
It looks like a movie scene.
It does.
It doesn't look real. Like it.
Everyone's kind of wearing the same clothes.
It looks rehearsed. But at the same time, like, whoa.
They knew they were being filmed probably too, so yeah, they definitely kind of like did what they can, because that was like brand new technology of the time. It's definitely interesting.
Whoa. That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, like that's very long ago. Like nobody is alive from that time right now.
Fuck no. Dude, it's so weird to think, like, just 20 years ago, you know, 2000s, 90s, not that long ago compared to history, you know, as a whole. The 90s weren't that long ago. In the 90s, there were people alive who were born in the 1800s.
Right.
And now it's 2021 rather, and there's nobody left. I would think, or if they were born in the 1800s, they'd be like 120 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's even possible. Dude, there's nobody left. I wonder who the last person was who was born in the 1800s who died.
I don't know, man.
That's so weird. That just crossed my mind, like there's nobody left.
Yeah, let's see. Last person from the 1800s.
Yeah, type that in.
Yeah, I mean, we have the chance to live in 3 different centuries as well. If we grow over 100.
Yeah.
Emma Murano, an Italian who before her death at the age of 117 years old.
Wow, where did she die?
Was the oldest living person. The last living person to have been verified as being born in the 1800s. Yes, she was born in Italy, died in Italy. Born 1899.
Okay, when did she die?
April 15th, 2017.
Wow. So
That's
she was the
insane.
last person ever.
Dude, something about Italians, too. They live a very long time.
I know.
Maybe they just have good, like, natural stuff they eat, because I know they pretty much grow their own stuff there.
Well, could be that, but
genes.
It also, genes, but it's also surprising because all the pasta and carbs they eat and all the red wine and stuff, and they live this long. It's like, wow.
For sure.
Damn, dude, that's so weird. It just baffles me. Like, nobody ever will ever be alive from that time period.
Yeah, man.
That's so weird. When just in the 80s, even the 80s, you know, there could have been somebody who was born in the 1880s who was 100 years old. And, like, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just weird to me. I wonder if there's anybody, probably not, if there's anybody born who is still alive from, like, in, like, the 1910s, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Because they would have been 110 now? 100 around there? That's possible.
Yeah.
My great-grandfather was born in 1919, but he died in 2004, so he didn't even get to see 100, but,
Oh. Here's the trick. In 2013, when asked about the secret of her longevity, she said that she ate 3 eggs a day, drank a glass of homemade grappa, and enjoyed a chocolate sometimes, but above all, she thought positively about the future. She was still living alone in her home on her 115th birthday. In 2016, she credited her long life to her diet of raw eggs and cookies, and to staying single.
Raw eggs?
Yeah.
Wow.
And cookies, and to staying single. So, basically cookie dough, right? Like raw eggs.
Cookie dough? Wow.
Yeah, because cookies and raw egg, like that's double bang for your buck right there. Raw eggs and cookies together. And staying single, of course. Which is probably true.
Okay, on to the topics for today.
Okay.
Godsmack.
Yeah, you want me to read it?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Godsmack who's one of my favorite bands of all time, is writing new material for a new acoustic album, which I'm excited about anything they come out with. I wish it wasn't an acoustic album, but they're so good live that how do I want to say it? I watched a YouTube video of them playing an Unplugged show, and they're the real deal, man. They're good. Unplugged is where you can really kind of separate somebody, like a band who's experienced, from somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
Somebody who can kick ass in an Unplugged show is a solid fucking band who has their shit together, and that's Godsmack.
It lets you see the brilliance of their songwriting.
They're coming out with a new acoustic album, I guess. I don't know. It says here they're writing new material, so I wanted to just read a little bit about that.
Yeah. Okay. Godsmack have used the past year to work on new music, teasing a plan for multiple releases. One of those sets that Sully Erna previously mentioned was a proposed acoustic EP, but in a new chat with the Mistress Carrie podcast, it sounds as though this collection may vary in approach from their previous acoustic release, The Other Side. The Other Side arrived in 2004 following on the heels of their 2003 album, Faceless. That set featured an acoustic version of Realign with the new song Touché, and some material that had been previously written but never released. It hit number 5 on the Billboard 200 album chart and has since been certified gold by the RIAA. He continues, we're going to be in there all year just writing music, and if it's a big fat rock song, it's going to go in one folder, and if it's kind of a cool piano piece or acoustic track, it's going to go in another folder. And then we're going to record everything and then pick our favorites and put out a couple albums worth.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. There's going to be an acoustic and just a regular straight up rock album.
One of my favorite drummers of all time is Shannon Larkin, who plays drums in Godsmack, and I love them, man. They're a solid band. I've been into them for probably about 5 years now. So if you like Godsmack and you haven't seen their Unplugged show, I don't know what year that they played that, but it's awesome. Just type in Godsmack Unplugged, and you'll hear all the... Is that Fat Mike?
Yep, from NoFX.
You'll hear all the all their good songs on there. So definitely check them out. If you haven't heard of Godsmack, look them up. Awesome band. So Tom, this one is shocking because I'll just read it first. Tom Morello, the guitar player from Rage Against the Machine, and Ted Nugent, who, if you don't know who he is, he's this, kind of conservative rock star guy who was really popular in the 70s. He's very vocal about his politics and his viewpoints. I was actually just listening. I actually just finished the episode with Ted Nugent and Joe Rogan like 2 days ago. It's an awesome episode. If you guys watch Joe Rogan, you want to know a little more about Ted Nugent, watch that episode. It's really insightful and it's entertaining. But why it's different, why this surprised me rather, is because Tom Morello is known for being more left-leaning and vocal about his left-leaning politics. Aside from his band, Rage Against the Machine, who was very vocal about their politics on the left side, then you have Ted Nugent, who is very vocal about his politics on the right, and doesn't really like to censor himself, which makes him entertaining, I think. So it says here, I found this article, that they're friends, that they have a friendship going on, which that surprised me a lot. So I wanted to kind of like dive into that and see. And I really hope this isn't clickbait from Loudwire, because I want Loudwire to redeem themselves. Last week, I had found a bunch of stuff on Loudwire, and it was just clickbait and uninteresting stuff. So hopefully they redeem themselves. But want to read a little bit about that, Matt?
Yep. So, Tom Morello recently guested on the Howard Stern show speaking about his involvement with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, meeting Chris Cornell and practicing guitar for 4 hours each day while studying at Harvard. The activist musician also filled Stern in on his seemingly unlikely friendship with right-wing stalwart Nugent. This is from Morello. He said, for his 60th birthday, someone reached out to me and said, "We're making a video and we're asking guitar players to say a few kind words." At the time, the Ted Nugent, which was sort of known in the world in general, was this kind of more right-wing caricature. People were not thinking of him first and foremost as the guy who shredded on Strangehold, Morello says. But then I had to think, what is the video that I'm going to make for Ted's birthday? And he put some thought into it and said, it's going to be about two things. One, it's going to be things that Morello and Ted Nugent have in common. And I went down this long list of things like free speech advocates, our love of rock and roll, our respect for black artists who created rock and roll, and then the second thing was things that Ted Nugent taught an adolescent Tom Morello about sex. So
yeah, holla.
The guitars continued. Then I went through Cat Scratch Fever, these strange words like the lyrics to the song Cat Scratch Fever, the lyrics to the song Wang Dang Sweet Poontang, which were utterly
He's got
foreign.
Some weird titles there for his songs,
which were foreign to him at the time, and he had to ask about on the playground. Anyway, so Ted called me up after that, and while we certainly have differences, I consider him a friend.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's so cool. Like, especially in today's society, like we're willing to disintegrate relationships because of disagreements, and this just goes to show like you have two musicians, two people, two very inspiring people, one on the left, one on the right, and despite their differences in opinions, they're both the same because they're both musicians, and they know that about each other, and they respect that, and they come together despite their differences, and that's really just how it should be. Like, the older I get, I'm realizing who gives a fuck about what you think of what I think. You can think that way, and I could think my way, but that doesn't mean we can't talk or be friends, or I think it's stupid to disintegrate a relationship or badmouth somebody just because they think differently than you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I might badmouth somebody, but that's because they probably have it coming. But I think all I've done on this show is badmouth people. Let's see, Jared Dines,
Right.
Trevor Noah, all that. But that's aside the point. You know, I think that's awesome. I think it's really awesome how they can do that.
And from Ted Nugent as well, he said about Tom Morello, you know who my genuine American blood brother is? Tom Morello.
Wow.
So you can, both of them, you know.
Q.
Good friends.
Q. So Texas actually Texas is now allowing full capacity concerts.
Wow. They lift mask mandate. Yep.
That's stupid, but full capacity concerts I think could work. But I don't know. Lifting the mask, that's risky. That's
coming up quick.
That's risky. This virus isn't eradicated yet. I do not support that. Not wearing masks, and once you tell the public that they don't have to wear masks anymore, you know a lot of them aren't going to. Well, I should word that different. A lot of them will stop wearing their masks, and I don't think that's very good right now. The numbers are plummeting. But this means that it's time to be even safer, to further these numbers going down. So lifting the masks entirely, I don't really support, but if somebody wants to do it, I can't stop them. But even like around here, like there's people I'll see going to like gas stations, and the gas station rules aren't as strict about masks, and it's like, dude, like, this virus is still going on, and, like, you're so ignorant. Like, you go in there with nothing. Like, you're going to be in the gas station for 5 minutes. Just wear the fucking mask. Stop being this rebel, you know? Like, I get it. But, I don't know. I think it's stupid. But I thought that was interesting because I saw concerts. And, so, yeah. I don't really know what to think of that, though. I think full capacity could work if you plan it right, if you space it right. But I think the masks still definitely have to be worn because if Texas starts having full capacity concerts, then Louisiana might, and then Montana might, and then you have all these people in a crowded place again with no masks. It's just gonna the numbers are just gonna go up again, and we're gonna be back at square one. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I think it's pretty cool that they're starting to have concerts again. So that's basically what the point of this topic is. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, March 10th it's starting, which is 3 days from now, Wednesday. So definitely interesting.
I keep seeing a bunch of articles about musicians or bands that they say, like, even when COVID goes away, they still don't want to tour.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, clearly you're making too much money, because if you haven't toured this whole time and you still don't want to tour when things get better, like, the fucking money you must have just stashed away. But, like, how could you not want to get back to that? As a musician myself, Matt, you too, like, imagine being in a successful band and like you're blessed to be able to go on the road and tour and make a living. Like, something like this happens and you wait it out and you know it gets better. Wouldn't you? That would be the first thing I'd want to go do, is go tour, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, for sure. I mean,
especially
just younger bands, you gotta. But I mean, I guess I could see though, like older bands that have families now realize like, oh crap, now I see what it's like to be home with my family and whatnot.
Sure, so, you know, yeah, that's a good point. But if you're a younger kid, if you're a younger kid and you know you're in this band, like touring, going back on the road would probably be the first thing I want to do. I'm like, okay, let me make back all this money I blew during quarantine, and so I just didn't get that. I'm like, how are you not eager to go out and do it? But people are getting complacent and comfortable with staying at home, and you know, why go out and work? So yeah, Texas. If you guys want to go to a concert, go to Texas. So Dave Grohl, and we talk about Dave a lot on this show, and believe me, I don't mean to, even though I'm a huge fan. He's so involved with everything, so he just comes up a lot. So Dave Grohl reveals who he wants to induct the Foo Fighters into the Hall of Fame. So let's read about that and see who he wants.
So once again from Loudwire, Dave Grohl didn't mess around when he asked who he'd like to induct Foo Fighters into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, should the band be selected for the honor out of this year's nominees. Fittingly, it's someone who was behind an album that first inspired Grohl to start the band Foo Fighters and call it Foo Fighters and do the whole thing. That's what the Foo's frontman and former Nirvana drummer shared on Howard Stern on Wednesday, February 10th, the very day the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation announced its batch of nominees. Quizzed by Stern about the prospective speech for a Foo Fighters Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, Grohl explained his choice with a walk down memory lane. Amid the recollection, the musician clued listeners in on the rocker who stimulated some of Grohl's early decisions. So Grohl said, "To be honest, this band started with the demo tape that I did ages ago. I went to the studio for 5 days, I played all the instruments, I recorded 13 or 14 songs just for fun, I made cassettes, and called it Foo Fighters because I didn't really want anyone to know who it was, to know it was him. One of the reasons why I did that is because when I was young, someone gave me a record by an artist named Clark Kent. It was this kind of weird, like, fringe thing." He said, "Clark Kent, who's Clark Kent?" It sounded a lot like the Police, because it was actually Stuart Copeland, the drummer of the Police. To that, Grohl added that he thinks Stu would be a great guy to induct the band. And I mean, if you ever hung out with Stuart Copeland, he can make a fucking speech. The guy can talk. So yeah, he wants the drummer for the Police.
Stuart Copeland? He wants Stuart Copeland to induct him?
Yep.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I love the Police. Matt, do you like the Police?
Yeah, I do.
Good band.
Oh yeah.
Believe it or not, Slightly Stupid is I forget who in the band said it, but they are inspired by the Police too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Slightly Stupid is a reggae band, and the Police have some of those tones.
Yeah.
And in fact, Sting did an album with the reggae artist Shaggy. They did like a whole reggae album. It's really good.
Yeah. Dude, that's so cool. Stuart Copeland. That's a good pick. Good drummer. Good band.
All together, all around good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
Dave Grohl only does good things, it seems.
Only good things. He's never sinned. Never once in his life. So Chevelle, I honestly forgot about Chevelle. Well, I didn't forget about them, but they're not the band. Why is there only 2 guys there? There's like 3 or 4 guys in the band. Oh no, I think those are the brothers. Yeah, I think those are the brothers. Anyways, Chevelle is a highly underrated band. If you haven't heard of them, go look them up. They got awesome songs. Very underrated band. And they're announcing a new album, which is pretty cool because I kind of thought they didn't stop, but like, I don't know, kind of fell off maybe, for lack of a better term. So I just saw they were coming out with a new album, and there's probably not much like to read about it because I mean the point is right there, coming out with a new album. But I just wanted to mention that if anybody likes Chevelle, or if you don't know Chevelle, go watch them. Awesome band. So I put this one last for a reason, because it's very exciting, even if it's a rumor. But Liam Gallagher, the ex-singer of Oasis, teases an Oasis reunion. I've really gotten into Oasis in like the past, I don't know, year. And I just love everything about them, and I hate that they're not together anymore. I hate that Noel and Liam fight, because they're just so talented musically, and that whole band was. I think everybody would love to see them have a reunion, but Liam Gallagher teases an Oasis reunion. Matt,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, how old is this article? Because this might be older, and I'm just... How old is this article?
It's from Daily Mail. No, it's pretty new. February 15th, 2021.
Okay, yes, it's semi-new. So, I really genuinely think both of them want to do it again. The money is too good. The fans are there. The fans are waiting. I'm waiting. I just think both their egos are going to get in the way.
Here's where it comes from. The rumor. I mean, it says a Twitter user, some kid, just wrote, "Hey, Liam, I need you to give me hope that Oasis will come back, please. I'm 19 years old, and I want to live that concert. I hate not being born earlier." And Liam responded, "It's going to happen, leaving hordes of fans." He just said it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Dude, I hope it does. Dude, it's inevitable. It's inevitable, man. Right, Matt? Like,
Yeah,
that big of a band.
Unless he was just kind of being sarcastic, like it's going to happen.
He's been teasing that stuff for a long time. Like, he wants Oasis to get back together. And I think Noel wants Oasis to get back together. I just, like I said, both their egos, I think, will be the factor in it, you know,
right.
Whether they pursue it or not. But that gives us a little bit of hope. So any Oasis fans out there, you got a little bit of hope to keep you going.
Yeah, man.
But they're both in their own successful bands now, you know, solo bands. Well, I guess a solo band isn't a real thing, because you can't be solo and then have a band, but yeah, have their own, you know, projects and stuff, both successful. So if Oasis never happens again, at least we know that they're still fine. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So we'll keep you posted when they start selling the Potato Head toys, once they switch the label and it's gender neutral. I don't get why. I mean, how could it not be gender neutral when there is Mr. and Mrs.? It includes all the genders.
I was thinking that too.
It's fair, right? That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But we'll keep you guys updated, so when they change it, we can go out and buy it. And then the Cat in the Hat. Apparently, I see, like, this is a little, like, relieving. Still, I don't support the cancel shit, but at least Cat in the Hat wasn't canceled. At least Horton Hears a Who wasn't canceled. Green Eggs and Ham wasn't canceled.
Yeah, because those are staples. And there's good lessons in them.
There's a couple books that I never heard of, but still, I don't think it's fair to cancel them. But, yeah. I wanted to put that one first. Oh yeah, we got the Mars thing.
Yeah, just pull up this article. You guys can check it out. There's some cool pictures of Mars' new rover, Perseverance, driving around on Mars, getting some pictures. So there it is, full colorized, like HD photo of Mars.
That is Mars.
Desolate land.
Right now, that's Mars. That's so crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't they launch a couple of those rovers?
I just know of the one.
Oh, just one?
Yeah.
I know there's a couple on there already.
Right.
One that died.
Yeah, one of them, like, broke down.
Yeah. And then... So, Elon Musk... I heard him in an interview say that his main goal, his main reasoning for starting all these companies is to save up enough money to get people to Mars. Personally, I think he's going to do it. He's definitely going to do it. He's got the intelligence for it. He's got the manpower behind him. It's going to happen. Whether it's in our lifetime or our kids' lifetime, this Earth eventually is going to become... What's the word? Uninhabitable?
Yeah, you got it.
We're going to run out of space. These fucking companies are going to keep tearing down the forest and putting houses up. There's only so much land that you have until it's all gone, and the soil eventually is going to go sour, and eventually, I don't know how long, but this world, this planet, will not be able to support life. So, Elon is working early on to get people to Mars. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, obviously it'll be a lot different, clearly, but like, would it? How do I want to ask this? I wonder how long it would take for once people colonize Mars to start building cities and to start having cars and building roads, and I don't even know if that will be possible on there because
engineering might be different. Yeah,
because you have to
get math involved.
You have to get the materials there. You know what I mean? Unless they can find stuff if they were to drill through Mars. But I wonder if once you're there, if you can even come back.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean, Matt? Like, I wonder.
Know.
It'd probably take too much money to bring you back. So once you're there, I would assume that you're there for good.
Yeah.
But that's the closest thing, I guess, atmosphere-wise. I might be butchering it, but I think that is closer to Earth, and that would be the planet that could most likely support life. So, yeah, I was looking at those pictures the other day, and it was just
mind-boggling.
Yeah, like, they're so, like, what's the word? Like, high def. Like, I don't know. They're really cool.
It's kind of crazy, too. NASA's saying Perseverance will be making regular commutes of 656 feet or more as it searches the Jezero crater for signs of ancient life. That's from NASA, you know? They're looking for ancient life on Mars.
Occupy Mars, ladies and gentlemen.
Crazy.
It's going to happen. But you and me, Matt, we're probably not going to go to Mars. We'll probably be dead.
Probably, yeah. Probably. By that point.
That's it. You guys have... What was I going to ask you? I just forget what I was going to ask. You guys have any shows next weekend?
Next weekend? Yeah, we got one. Saturday. Where is it at? It's up at... in Scranton somewhere, man. They just changed the venue. It was originally at this place called Angry Irishman in Scranton. It was like, I think, because it'll be around St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
It'll be during Parade Day, but now it's at some event center.
Have you guys... This was just random, but I heard Matt say St. Patrick's Day. Have you guys ever seen The Fugitive? Matt, have you ever seen The Fugitive?
No.
Dude, check it out. It's from 1993 or 4. Harrison Ford is in it. Tommy Lee Jones is in it. And it's about Harrison Ford's character, who is a doctor, I think. And I think he's wrongfully accused of murdering somebody, maybe his wife. Oh. And the whole movie is about him fleeing from these detectives. Tommy Lee Jones is one of the detectives. And the whole time while he's fleeing and trying to get away, and he's trying to figure out how he can prove that he didn't do it, because Harrison Ford's character's IQ is really high. Dude, it's hard to explain, but it's an awesome movie. So
sounds interesting.
Matt, if you ever have time and you come across it, definitely watch it. It's on TV every now and then. Anybody who hasn't seen it, go watch it. Awesome movie. That just popped in my mind because the one scene I think it took place in Chicago. There's a St. Patrick's Day parade, and Harrison Ford was like running through the parade, and the detectives, Tommy Lee Jones and his partners, were like trailing behind him, and he ended up like stealing some guy's coat and just walking through it's a really cool scene. It just popped up randomly in my mind, but awesome movie. I might start. I know I put out a couple of those episodes that I did, the movie picks that, I pick movies and just discuss them. Might be putting that stuff onto my Patreon. That's kind of stuff I think that would be fit for that, because they're short, and it's like extra content. And so I'll probably just start putting that on there for now. So just letting you guys know about that, because I think that's more Patreon fitting, you know what I mean, Matt? Like that's like little content,
little blips of content
on the side,
for sure.
That's definitely it. Is that it for you, Matt? Anything else?
Nah, that's it, man.
Fun and interesting?
Nope.
Okay, after this we're gonna test out a green screen, so maybe in the future we'll have green screen. It's like Matt's hat is green.
Yeah, man.
It's yellow, actually, right?
Yeah, like neon yellow.
Construction yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. Boom, we finished up. Like and subscribe. What else? What are we on? Pandora? No, I don't think we're on there yet. I keep waiting for some bullshit there. They keep stringing me along. But we're on Spotify. Follow my Instagram. Everything will be in the fucking comments. Tired of explaining it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, 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 Mr. Tim, he loved him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.